Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Radhe, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Gaura Pivanandi, Dayam Vishupad Paramahamsa, Pri Vrajgacharya Stotra Satya, Sri Srimad His Divine Grace, Sarabai Charanarvana Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki, Santa Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Skandiviti, founder Charya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Samavata Bhaktivinoda ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Janita Gaura Primanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sharakaya Takshurunmiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jita Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakan Sanagaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesha Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and a loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastyaya Namaha. The Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
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 Mukam karoti vasaram pangum langayate girim yatkripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are beginning with a new chapter today. Chapter 7, first canto, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Shonaka Uvacha Nirgate Narade Sutta Bhagavan Badarayanaha Shrutavams Tad Abhipretam Tattaha Kim Akarod Vibhuhu Shaunaka Uvacha Nirgate Narade Sutta Bhagavan Bhadarayanaha Shrutavam Sad Abhipretam Tatha Kim Akarod Vibhu Shaunaka Uvacha Nirgate Narade Sutta Bhagavan Bhadarayanaha Shrutavam Sad Abhipretam Tatha Kim Akarod Vibhu Shaunaka Uvacha Nirgate Narade Sutta Bhagavan Badarayanaha Shrutavam Stad Abhipretam Tatha Kim Akarod Vibhu Shaunaka Uvacha Nirgate Narade Sutta Bhagavan Bhadarayanaha Shrutavam Stadabhipretam Tatha Kim Akarod Vibhu Shaunaka Uvacha
Nirgate
Narade Sutta
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Badarayanaha Shrutavam Stad Abhipretam Tatha Kim Akarod Vibhu Shaunaka Sri Shaunaka Uvacha said Nirgate having gone Narade Narada Muni Sutta O Sutta Bhagavan the transcendently powerful,
the transcendently powerful,
Badarayanaha,
Badarayanaha,
Veda Vyasa,
Veda Vyasa,
Srutavam,
Sutavam,
who heard,
who had
Tat,
Tat,
his,
his
Abhipretam,
Abhipretam,
desire of the mind,
desire of the mind,
Tataha,
Tataha,
thereafter,
thereafter,
Kim,
Kim,
what,
what
Akarot,
Akarot
did he do,
did he do,
Vibhuhu,
Vibhuhu,
the great.
the great.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Rishi Shonaka asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? Can you repeat after me? Rishi Shonaka asked,
Rishi Shonaka asked,
O Sutta,
O Sutta,
the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva
the great and transcendently powerful Vasudeva,
heard everything from Sri Narada Muni.
heard everything from Sri Narad Muni.
So after Narada's departure,
So after Narada's departure,
what did Vyasadeva do?
what did Vasudeva do?
Purport. In this chapter, the clue for describing Srimad Bhagavatam is picked up as Maharaj Parikshit is miraculously saved in the womb of his mother. This was caused by Drauni, Asvatthama, Acharya Drona's son, who killed the 5 sons of Draupadi while they were asleep, for which he was punished by Arjuna. Before commencing the great epic Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Vyasadeva realized the whole truth by trance in devotion. So in the very beginning, Prabhupada is telling how this particular chapter, the clue for describing Srimad Bhagavatam is picked up. Yet we'll have to find out what that means. The clue for describing Srimad Bhagavatam.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Yeah. So, Sutta have a understanding how we have to explain something about the history of the Bhagavatam, and he's thinking what is the way to turn the conversation between him and the sages in Naimisharanya nicely and in an effective way, saying about the history but not too much, because then destruction will come.
Just like in the Mahabharata, there's so many historical facts. There's so much of history. There's so many pastimes. But there are instructions being given simultaneously.
Conversations are
right. There's more history or well, Mahabharata is full of anecdotes and uh, different pastimes. We know that Prabhupada mentioned how Mahabharata will be easier. It is easier for most people because it's having more of stories and political intrigues, etc., like that, uh, within which various um moral and spiritual instructions are given. So we'll read a few verses here to
It's also very interesting how Prabhupada in the last sentence practically he changed the topic. Just from nowhere he speaks that Vyasadeva realized absolute truth.
yes, Jai, Haribo, making progress. Yeah, that's Srila Vyasadeva before putting in writing the Srimad Bhagavatam. He realized the whole subject matter by trance and devotion, which is, of course, the essence of the Bhagavatam. Uh, yes. So let's um, find out what Srila Vyasadeva did. That is the question that is being asked to Sutta Goswami. So text number 2. Sutta Uvacha
Uvacha
Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam
Brahmanadam Saraswatam
Asrama Paschime Tate
Ashrama Pachime Tate
Samya Prasa Iti Prokta
Samya Prasa Iti Prokta
Rishinam Satravardhanaha.
Rishinam Satravadhana.
Translation and purport. Sri Sutta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Samyaprasa, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. Purport. For spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. The place on the western bank of the Saraswati is especially suitable for this purpose. And there is the ashram of Vyasadeva at Samya Prasa. Samya Prasa. Srila Vyasadeva was a householder, yet his residential place is called an ashram. An ashram is a place where spiritual culture is always foremost. It does not matter whether the place belongs to a householder or a mendicant. The whole varnashrama system is so designed that each and every status of life is called an ashram. This means that spiritual culture is the common factor for all. The brahmacharis, the grihastas, the vanaprasthas, and the sannyasis all belong to the same mission of life, namely realization of the Supreme. Therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. The difference is a matter of formality on the strength of renunciation. The sannyasis are held in high estimation on the strength of practical renunciation. So many nice points are being made here, both in the text and the purport. The place of Srila Vyasadeva is referred to here, Samyaprasa. Samyaprasa. Who has been to Badrinath? Not yet. So I recall my first time visiting Badrinath by bus. Nowadays, I mean, one can still walk to Badrinath. Still, many sadhus actually do. Takes probably a few weeks or up to 1 month. By bus, generally takes 2 days. You have to stop over. So after the very winding and quite long journey from Haridwar, all kinds of people are advertising Char Dham Yatra, Char Dham Yatra. You know, that is called Choto. There's Choto Char Dham, and then I guess Maha Char Dham. There's 4 holy places in India that actually that was part of the culture. People understood that before leaving their body, they should visit the Char Dham. If not the Maha Char Dham, there might be another word referring. Maha Char Dham refers to Jagannath Puri on the east, and what is it? On the south, Rameshwaram. Very easy for Rameshwar Prabhu to remember. And on the west, Dwarka, and north is Badrinath. And the Choto Char Dham is Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Yamunotri. So when our bus, on the second day arrived in Badrinath, one has already seen so many mountains. One basically not jumps, but one connects from one mountain to another, going up, I don't know how many thousands of feet. And then when one arrives, I don't know if it's still there, but when I arrived, there was a huge sign, big board, And on the board it was written, both in English and probably Hindi, "Welcome to the Valley of the Gods." And one really feels that one has entered a very special area. Obviously, the Himalayas, we were discussing, I think, the other day, how it is from the Himalayas that one can actually um, connect to higher planets, as Arjuna did. There's a particular place where you can actually uh, enter higher realms of existence. In any event, this point is being made here that to favor our development of spiritual consciousness, uh, to facilitate our practice and our advancement in spiritual life, is very important to create proper atmosphere. And the whole Vedic culture, as Prabhupada mentions here in the purport, the whole Vedic culture is aiming at that purpose, because everyone is meant to live in some ashram. You choose your ashram. We have a choice of 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. But the point Prabhupada mentioning here is that even householder life is meant to be ashram. And in that sense, in the context of Daiva Varnashrama, therefore everyone is equal in the sense that everyone is meant to endeavor to advance in Krishna consciousness. And that's why it's so important to have that system in place, because when it is not in place, everyone uh, is not knowing or not understanding and not engaged in activities for spiritual advancement. So therefore, that's why also temples are so important. And of course, India is, without any doubt, that place which has, Prabhupada used to say, when you come to Vrindavan at that time, I don't know now, had like 5,000, Vrindavan has 5,000 temples. So the whole of India, I don't know if anyone counted, but there's hundreds and thousands of holy places, temples, etc. And now, of course, by Prabhupada's mercy, uh, such holy places, because as soon as there is the presence of deities, as soon as there are activities of devotional service, that place becomes a holy place, isn't it? And that is what Vedic culture is all about, giving opportunity and providing facility for people to actually take up the spiritual life, and in this way fulfill the primary goal and objective of life. So, yeah, in the last sentence, Prabhupada was mentioning, Hare Krishna, how Srila Vyasadeva, by sitting on the banks of the Saraswati, I think Saraswati is not there now.
It's not visible.
Right.
Maybe below.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know the distance. I don't know how far is Srila Vyasadeva's ashram from Badrinath, but Actually, Srila Madhvacharya, he went to his ashram, actually had darshan of Srila Vyasadeva. Srila Vyasadeva is still amazing. I mean, people in India, that is your signal. Young souls, young boys especially in India, because it's part of the culture. I mean, previously especially, they would come to know that actually, if one is serious about spiritual life, one should go. In the West, in the West means in America, the expression is "Go west, young man, go west." In India, is "Go north, young man, go north." And actually, probably more so in the last century, because facilities were there. When they have these, what is it, Kumbh Mela? Anyone been to a Kumbh Mela? No, Kumbh Mela. When is the next Kumbh Mela? Every 12 years, but there are Kumbh Melas happening in 4 different places in India. So the point I wanted to make is that many Westerners actually live in the Himalayas. Some of them probably have discarded their passport and nobody knows about them, because the Himalayas have always been and will always be that very special place, where, I mean, Kumbh Mela means that it's on those who are in the Himalayas. They only come down once every 12 years to kind of mix with the common people. So naturally, Vyasadeva was living in the Himalayas, and therefore, in other words, he was situated in a very ideal, holy place, and this will be explained in the verses to come. Yeah, so these are a few points that are mentioned here. Yeah, Srila Vyasadeva is an example of, and we have many such examples of householders who are very advanced devotees. So, in other words, there's no impediment. Anyone in any of the ashram, and anyone also in any of the varnas, in the same way that Prabhupada points out, members of any of the ashram have opportunity to advance in spiritual life, and the same is there for varna. Means it's not only the brahmanas, especially in the context of what are, we could say, more recent acharyas have been stressing in terms of varnasrama, daiva varnasrama. anyone of any of the varnas can become a pure devotee. Generally, we don't see it like that. Traditionally, if you are Shudra, it's like you have less opportunity. But anyone within society, and that is that is what our acharyas are especially trying to introduce, to explain that. Well, this is the statement given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, right? Kiba vipra, kiba nyasi, shudra kene noi, jai Krishna tattvaveta se guru hoy. So it means that regardless of one's spiritual or social position in society, regardless of one's ashram or varna, anyone can chant the holy name of the Lord. Anyone can actually know about Krishna, can engage in Krishna service, and anyone can become self-realized. So that's why Srila Prabhupada referred to this fourth ashram in his essay of Gita Nagari. You know this Gita Nagari essay?
I've heard about it.
I heard about it, yeah. So Prabhupada speaks about the fourth, speaks about four phases actually, very important concept that was introduced probably for the first time, actually not exactly the first time. Prabhupada refers to these four, he calls it movements. What are the four movements? He referred to these four movements way back in 1949, which if we don't understand about these four movements, we're not having a complete picture of what is meant to be the Hare Krishna movement, or the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mission of our acharyas. So we won't go into the details, but the fourth movement, Prabhupada, each movement Prabhupada gave a name. And the fourth movement, he called it the classless society movement. So what does classless society mean?
My mom explained it to me. I forget what it is.
Your mom explained it to you. Okay. You have a wonderful mom who can explain to you about what generally is confusing for most. Yeah. Because normally when we hear the word classless, we mean generally it means no divisions or no classes. But in giving that name, Srila Prabhupada meant that within the system of Daiva Varnasrama, because everyone is practicing devotional service, because everyone is a devotee of Krishna, because everyone knows about Krishna, and everyone is endeavoring to serve Krishna, so there's no difference. We're all devotees, and therefore we have to avoid making unnecessary differences between someone who is playing the role of a Brahmana or playing the role of a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Actually, Prabhupada very nicely, to help us understand more clearly about Varnashram, because it's not so easy, he explained that we should see, we should look at Varnashrama as like a drama. It's like when there's a drama on the stage, different people are dressed up in different ways, different costumes, and had different roles. And every single one of the actors know that he's just acting out that role for the drama. He knows that he's different from that role in real life. So in the same way, this is the kind of consciousness that one needs to develop, and that's also an important point. That's only possible to develop this kind of consciousness if one is a devotee of Krishna, if one knows about devotional service, because the fundamental understanding of all devotees is that Jiver Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. We are all servants of Krishna. So we may take on some particular role or responsibility in society, either as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, because society needs to function according to these different positions or roles. But we know that that is secondary. Yeah, and we are. So this is the type of varnashrama which has, unfortunately, this kind of understanding has been lost, and it can only, I think we can rightly say, it can only be rediscovered through the pages of the Bhagavatam, because the Bhagavatam, as we are seeing here, is being given to us by Srila Vyasadeva in his full, mature realization of the subject matter, right? Bhagavatam is referred to as the ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge, the ripened fruit, which is leading us at the lotus feet of Krishna in activities of pure devotional service. So this reference being made here is actually very important. The reference that Prabhupada makes in regards to ashramas. It means everyone in society is meant to belong to some ashram. Everyone in society is having the same goal and objective, which is the primary goal and objective for everyone is to become self-realized. So that's one of many reasons why this this system of varna and ashrama is so important, because it actually reminds everyone and helps all individuals within society to keep in mind, to always keep in mind what is the primary goal and objective. Yeah. Before I came to Krishna consciousness, getting a few nice refreshing drops, but if they increase too much, it's like the understanding is that if you join a religious order, you become religious. Otherwise, you're just not really religious. But in the Vedic culture is that whether you join a religious order or not, let's say to become a priest or a nun, everyone is meant to be religious. Everyone is meant to take up the spiritual life. We we'll have to end our class, or Krishna is going to end our class.
Oh, it's okay.
It's refreshing, huh?
Yeah. Just a book have to put up.
Yeah, just
I have one point, if you don't mind.
yes.
So you mentioned that everyone have the same opportunity in this age, in a classless mood, which doesn't mean we are not organized for different kind of services, but it's not dividing persons in existence, in importance in the society for different ways. So it's not dividing people when they are for whole life, for example, they're doing Shudra work or Brahminical work. And I think the key for that understanding and realizing that important mood is when we understand that we will be successful in spiritual life when we take some very important principles in practice, like really focusing whatever we do, keep the mind in focus. And if you are tired, sleep or do something against the tiredness, because without focus, whatever we do, it just not have a real effect. And also the mood, this mood of one community, one family we are doing. We are not considering that the father, mother, brother is more or less important, or the servant of the household life.
Right.
They are developing reunion. We need inner consciousness.
Yes.
So there are a few principles which if we have to learn to keep in our mind when whatever we do, whatever part of some cooperation we do.
Yes.
So this is the mood, this one family mood, and our renunciation is this focus. Keep the focus. That's our renunciation.
Right.
And the fourth canto, like you see, the the difference is a matter of formality of the strength of renunciation.
The
In
difference
this
is.
purport.
Uh-huh.
The difference, therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. The difference is the matter of formality of the strength of renunciation.
Uh-huh.
So, renunciation could be very different activities or non-activities.
Right.
But in the fourth canto, Lord Shiva, when he is teaching these boys for, for, for the most effective prayers for Lord Vishnu, and the last sentence of Lord Shiva's is like Japanta Ekagra Diya Stapu Maha, which means that as effective as great austerities to recite these prayers in ekagrata, in very focused way.
Yes.
So this is as strong as any other type of renunciation.
Yeah. That that same emphasis is given in another verse where Prabhupada Bhagavatam actually. How does it start?
In the first canto?
I forget where that is. I believe in the first canto.
You think about 1 to 14, which is like Tasmad Ekana Manasa.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few. Where it is describing that whether one has no material desire, when one has all kinds of
Akama,
material.
Sara, Kama.
Akama, yeah. How does
Moksha,
it begin?
Kama, Udarani.
What is the first
Tivrena.
line?
Akama, Sarva, Kama,
Kama
Moksha,
sarva
Kama,
kama.
Udarani.
Yes.
Tivrena
Trivrena
Bhakti
bhakti
Yoga.
yogena. Yeah. Trivrena is that emphasis. Yeah, focus. Yes, yes. Yeah, being focused, and of course, as you rightly mentioned, developing this kind of family unity, or this bhava, and in this way, everyone can be supportive of one another, and together make progress, advancement. Yeah.
Yeah, because if family members have a short meeting, they open their heart. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you. What happens? A few words,
Yes.
and then they miss each other and go continue their works. But they express their feelings, and that's nourishing. Oh, I am loved.
Yes. Yes.
But it's little ways, it's enough.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Anything? Jai